This is Old Crow, 80 miles north of the Arctic Circle deep in the Yukon, where the Crow and Porcupine Rivers meet. It's the only community in Canada with no road in and no road out. No highway, no gravel track, no bridge, just wilderness in every direction. To reach it, you fly on a small bush plane and hope the weather says yes. Up here, weather isn't small talk. It's law. Fog closes the runway. Crosswinds cancel flights and storms can freeze the town in place. Some winters, a temporary ice road appears for a few weeks. Some years, it never shows up. Only about 230 people live here, under midnight sun in summer and near total darkness in winter. Groceries arrive by air. Apples can be $17, milk $10. And for thousands of years, one thing has made life possible: the caribou. So how does Old Crow work? Food, power, medicine? When the map offers no way in. What Old Crow is, and who lives here? Old Crow is the northernmost community in the Yukon, and the only one not connected by a permanent road. Whitehorse, the territorial capital, is about 500 miles away. That's not a long drive. That's not even a drive at all. Out here, travel isn't casual. It's planned. It's expensive, and it's always at the mercy of the sky. More than 90% of the people in Old Crow are Vuntut Gwich'in, often translated as people of the lakes. They are part of the larger Gwich'in nation, spanning communities across Alaska, the Yukon, and the Northwest Territories. And unlike many northern settlements that were established by outside governments, Old Crow wasn't placed here as an experiment. It was chosen because this exact location sits directly on the migration route of the porcupine caribou herd. Not coincidence, strategy. For thousands of years, survival here meant reading the land like a calendar: snow, river, wind, and animal movement. Knowing when to move, when to wait, and when to prepare. And just 30 miles from town, the Bluefish Caves hold one of the oldest traces of human presence in North America, evidence dating back roughly 24,000 years. Think about that. Long before modern borders, long before roads, long before Canada was even an idea, people were already living here, adapting, surviving, and understanding this place. Old Crow isn't just remote, it's ancient. Getting here, and why it changes everything. Imagine you need flour, or antibiotics, or a replacement part for your snowmobile in the middle of February. In most towns, that's an errand. In Old Crow, that's logistics. You order what you can. You time it around flights. You wait for the next plane. Then you wait for the weather. Because if visibility drops, planes don't land. If the wind gets rough, flights get canceled. And when flights get canceled, the town doesn't slow down. It pauses. The Old Crow Airport isn't just infrastructure, it's the community's heartbeat. Small aircraft bring passengers, mail, groceries, freight, and medical supplies all year round. But cargo space is limited. Weight matters. Every kilogram costs money, which is why the price tags here feel unreal. Beef can cost over $38. Milk can hit $10. A bag of apples can be $17. And those numbers aren't just expensive, they're a reminder that everything on that shelf has traveled through the air to exist there. Here's a sticky reality. In most places, if a store runs out, a truck arrives tomorrow. In Old Crow, tomorrow depends on clouds and crosswinds. In winter, there is sometimes an ice road from Eagle Plains. But it's not a permanent solution. It's a short, fragile window. Some years it opens late. Some years it never opens. Even when it does, it's not a highway you can rely on whenever you want. And the Porcupine River? It runs past the town, but it's not a cargo route for big supply ships. It's part of the landscape, not a pipeline. So Old Crow depends on one thing above all: air. If something breaks, you wait. If something runs out, you wait. Life here isn't built around convenience. It's built around planning and patience. And when something goes wrong medically, the stakes jump instantly. In many places, you drive to a hospital. Here, urgent care can mean a medevac flight, another moment where weather becomes the deciding factor. What people actually do here. Life in Old Crow doesn't revolve around factories or corporate offices. It revolves around the land, and above all, the caribou. The porcupine caribou herd is one of the largest remaining migratory herds in the world, often estimated at up to around 200,000 animals. Every year they travel across a massive range through Alaska and northern Canada. And twice a year they pass through this region, moving north, then returning south. When the herd arrives, Old Crow changes. This is one of those scenes you can picture. Word spreads fast. Hunters prepare gear. Families talk about timing. People look at the land and the weather like it's a scoreboard. School schedules adjust. Work slows down. The whole community shifts. Then the hunt begins. Hunters travel out, sometimes for hours, sometimes longer, tracking movement, scanning the terrain, reading snow, listening for signs. It's not a hobby. It's knowledge, practice, and responsibility. When they return, the real work starts. Meat is cut, dried, smoked, cooked, and stored. Freezers fill, families share, elders receive meat. Distribution happens through relationships and responsibility, not just money. Nothing is wasted. Bones become broth. Hides become clothing, moccasins, mitts, traditional items. What would be scraps elsewhere are resources here. One animal can provide hundreds of pounds of meat, enough to carry a family through long stretches when store food is expensive, limited, and uncertain. But the caribou is more than calories. It's tradition. It's identity. It's a living connection between generations. It's why Old Crow exists exactly where it does. And the land-based economy doesn't stop there. People fish. They hunt other game in season. They preserve, store, and plan with the seasons. In the South, independence often means doing everything alone. Up here, independence often means doing it together. Power, and why. Old Crow is reinventing the future. For decades, Old Crow ran on diesel. 3 generators powered the community. Lights, school, homes, businesses, everything. But there was a problem. With no road access, the diesel had to be flown in. Every liter, every delivery, every drop. It was expensive, it was dirty, and it was vulnerable. Because when your supply chain depends on flights, a storm isn't just bad weather, it's risk. Then, in 2019, the community made a different choice. They built one of the most advanced solar hybrid systems in the Canadian Arctic. Roughly 940 kilowatts of solar capacity combined with a large battery storage system. And suddenly, something changed. On long summer days when sunlight stretches late into the night, the diesel generators can shut off entirely for periods of time. Let that sink in. In the Arctic, in a town with no roads, powered by the sun, the system saves roughly 190,000 liters of diesel a year and cuts costs dramatically. But the bigger change is psychological. When you generate your own power, you're not just saving money, you're gaining control. You're reducing dependence on fuel shipments. You're building resilience. You're proving that remote doesn't have to mean stuck. The final reality. Old Crow is not an easy place to live. Many young people leave for school in Whitehorse or farther south, and not all of them return. The population is small, and everyday life leaves little room for mistakes. Climate change is already rewriting the rules. Warmer winters can shorten ice road seasons, shifting weather can disrupt travel, and fires can destroy the lichen caribou depend on. And if the migration changes, the impact isn't just economic, it's cultural. And yet, Old Crow remains. Because for the people here, this isn't isolation. It's home, where culture is lived, tradition is daily life, and the future isn't built by roads but by choices. Old Crow proves that you don't need roads to survive, only a reason to stay. While the rest of the world builds connections outward, this town has built resilience inward. In a place with no roads out, leaving was never the point.